Thanks for joining us on this new compact version of Does It Resonate With You, where we take a whole show from each week and cut it into smaller and more digestible chunks so that you can listen on the go or listen to them all in a row, whatever works for you. We really want you to find your own truth while we discover and discuss ours. And while we're at it, could we encourage you to reach down and hit that subscribe button? Thanks so much. We'll see you on the other side. Hey everyone, here we are. Welcome to Does It Resonate With You? And we're going to try a new format. We're going to split the show up into 3 pieces, which I think is really exciting because we feel like maybe some of you don't always have time to click on a 1-hour show. So we're going to split it up 3 ways. We're going to do 2 topics and then we're going to do tarot time. And when we run out of tarot cards, which we have a ways to go yet, when we run out of tarot cards,
in 2026 or something.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe now now in tarot time we could do 2 cards. We'll see how it goes today, and then we'll see. You know, if we could do 2 cards, that might be kind of fun to see if we can get cards that relate to each other. You know.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to try this new format. We're going to try and make it a little more digestible for you. We're going to do a couple of different topics. And our topic today, right now, we're going to talk about music and how that relates to meditation and your wellness and what to pick and how to, you know, what we like and what resonates with us. So without further ado, I think we just go get started. So do you have a favorite? Now, just keep in mind, everyone, we will not be playing any of this music because we do not have the budget, you know, to pay the royalties. So
we can point you in the right direction and give you the right searches.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, do you have a favorite? I have a favorite. I know I have 2 favorites.
I have a favorite artist, first of all. My favorite artist, her name is Snatam Kaur, and it's spelled Snatam, and her last name Kaur. And she's a very interesting person. She's Western, or like I think American or Canadian born, but she immersed herself, and all of her music and everything is all Middle Eastern. And so she sings in it's, you know, the Sanskrit.
Like Sanskrit?
Yes. And her music is very much like Middle Eastern performers, but she does it, and she tours the way, you know, an American or European band tours. So lots of people get to know her. And if you hear her music, you'll recognize it. You're like, oh, I know that song. But she is my absolute favorite. And I listen whenever I need real good meditation music. I listen to some of her music.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. I got turned on to that sort of sound in yoga.
Yeah.
You know, I really got turned on to that sort of sound in yoga, and some of that, you know, the Sanskrit chanting or singing, whatever you want to call it, very melodic, and it's very transformative, but it's also very transporting. You know, it's almost like getting on a carpet, right? And taking a little bit of a ride, which I just think is fantastic.
Yeah. So it takes you to another place. It really does.
Well, and I mean, that's the whole idea.
The best music in the world does that. Whatever your thing is, whatever your music is, when you're in that surrounded by that music, you are in another place. It's
no doubt. I mean, dude, I grew up in the 70s, man. The Wall. Like
right.
The Wall,
Yes.
right?
Did you listen to Yes? I loved Yes.
Yeah, oh, me too. Me too. So I'm gonna start. I want to go back real quick to my favorite piece for meditation. And I'm not going to tell you who it's by, but it's like his name is like Christoph Janowitz, but it's not spelled anything like you would think it would be. But you can search this. Probably the best music for meditation and relaxation. That is the name of the piece. Probably the best music for meditation and relaxation. It's on YouTube. It's on Amazon. It's everywhere. That is the actual name of it.
That's hilarious.
And and it was so funny because, you know, it's actually a little bit like my name, like, which I find very interesting. when I first heard it, I was in a yoga class, and he played it during Savasana, and I was like, "What is that music?" And he said, "Probably the best, you know." And I was like, "Yes, but what is it called?" And he said it again, and I was like, "But what do I look up?" And then he said it again, and I was like,
Dude, don't make
and
me
he
hurt
said,
you.
"No, the name of it is." So it's very much like me and my last name, you know, ZXUH. How do you pronounce that? ZXUH. I know, but how do you pronounce it? ZXUH. Oh, you don't pronounce it? No, you pronounce it ZXUH. You know, like it's a,
Yeah. Yep.
so it was a very similar conversation. And whenever I recommend it to people, they're like, "Oh, that's the name of it. I get it." It
You
is
have to have a
probably the
conversation about it.
best. It has different parts and pieces, and I think the one that I use is about an hour long, and I could sit through the whole hour to be honest with you. But um, it's all instrumental, and it's all melodic and vibrational, and it's so much. I use it so much that when I turn it on and I sit, my body goes, "Oh, I get it. Time to meditate."
Hmm.
So there is value, right, in not just choosing my piece or your piece, but in choosing a piece, especially when you're starting out, to use regularly, right, and
Yeah.
repeatedly, because you get
Yes.
that Pavlovian response, right, and
Yep.
it's
You're in the
um,
zone right away.
yeah, really quick. So um, anyway, so that I think that's really interesting. Now I've been in some really interesting meditations, and in a lot of energy sessions I do, I use that piece by Annie Lennox, the Into the West
I was
from,
going
you
to
know, the
ask you
Lord of
about
the
that.
Rings,
Yep.
which is an amazing, another, you know, another one that, like, I mean, the first time I heard it, and it was a similar situation where it's a short meditation after an exercise class, and I was like, I'm on a ship.
Hmm.
What's going on here? Like, it was just
It was that good.
incredible. And it was in that, actually, in that, inside that music, that I first saw Miranda, who is the White Witch, one of
Oh,
my guides. Like,
cool.
I had seen her many, many times, um, many times before I actually met her and knew who she actually was. So, I mean, there's so much power in it. There's
Yeah.
so much power in it. Now, I will say that the probably the best is a binaural piece, which I love because that whole, you know, relaxing the brain situation.
Yep.
So, um,
I have a number of CDs from HemiSync. HemiSync is a producer of meditation, you know, various different artists, various different providers, but they all have that binaural beats in there. And when I really want to, you know, go deep, that's what I use. Something from
yeah,
HemiSync.
well, you would love this piece. You got to try the
I will.
probably
I
the
will. I
best. You
didn't heard
got
of
yeah,
it. This is all
it's
good stuff. It's
oh,
new.
it's so good. Like they're
Okay.
like it's just and, you know, and go for the ride. I mean, it's very much like being, you know, like, I mean, we, of course, the wall was records, so you got halfway through, and then you had to
You had to
flip the
flip it.
back. um, but it, you know, that was a very similar ride, right? Like it was a
Yeah,
very similar.
that's right. It was almost it was written as kind of a story.
Yeah, right. And it was like an opera or something. Wasn't it a
Yeah,
rock opera? I mean, if you actually think about it,
I think
I think
so.
it kind of was a rock opera, but
Yep.
um yeah, so that's, you know, now I've been in I've been around, you know, some pretty creative people, and some of the people that I've been around have are the ones that gave me permission to do meditations and lead meditations the way that I do. And I will never forget one that I attended, and it was a Beatles. It
Hmm.
was a Beatles meditation, and I got to tell you, that was great fun. That was
Huh.
really a lot of fun. That meditation was, you know,
Reminds
and
me of
he took parts and pieces, like it wasn't full songs. He took parts and pieces of the songs, and he, you know, he guided you through, like, I can't really remember. I would have to really work hard to, you know, remember what it was like. But if you can imagine, you know, now imagine that you are here and you are doing this, and then this happens. Now just surrender to that. And then he would, turn on this piece of the music and it would just kind of take you there.
Oh,
It was
cool.
cool. It was really cool. It was very creative and very original. And
Yeah, interesting.
I don't, he's not around here, where I live anymore. He was local. So,
Can I tell
I
you
don't
my
know
favorite
what.
joke about the Beatles?
Hmm.
So my favorite comedian is Stephen Wright, and he does real deadpan humor. He says, "I will now play all the songs that the Beatles ever wrote. I will not play all of Hey Jude."
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
moving right along. I had to get that in there though.
You had to. I mean,
Yep,
I opened the door, did I not?
indeed.
So, um, if you're choosing music, okay, let's do a little scenario here, for the people. Let's a little bit of a learning experience. I know many people who struggle with meditation or the concept of meditation, the idea of meditation. They struggle maybe with visualizing. They struggle, there's struggle in the idea of meditation, which I think is a shame because it should not be really that hard. But I think one of the things is that the misconception out there is that you need to empty your mind to be, if you're meditating, it means there's nothing happening in your mind. Dude, I can't do that. Like
Right.
that just does not work for me at all. So if you are talking to somebody who's brand new to meditation, what would be a great place to start?
Well, going to the music part of it, one thing that I find really helpful is to find one of those meditation pieces that has a repeated chant over and over and over and over. What you want to do in meditation is give your mind something to do, because if your ego mind has something to do, it lets the meditation underneath happen. So it
Exactly right.
keeps you
Exactly.
from thinking. I've got two chants that I use all the time. And if you Google these two chants, you will find hundreds and hundreds of artists that have used these chants in their
Hmm.
music.
Om Mani
Mani
Padme
Padme
Hum.
Hum. Very good. Yep,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one. Actually, I'm not wearing it today. I have a shirt that I made with that on it in both English and Sanskrit. Um,
Nice.
the other one that I like is the Gayatri Mantra. That's the name of it. If you search it,
Oh.
it's a chant that's about 5 or 6 lines long, but it's repeated
I
again over and over and over again. And there's one particular version of it that's my favorite song in the world.
it I am pretty sure that is in the Book of Runes.
Okay, I would not surprise me.
I'm
Let me
pretty
spell that real quick.
sure.
Can I spell it real quick for the listeners?
Sure, absolutely.
Gayatri Mantra. So Gayatri, and then the second word is mantra, Mantra.
1 second. Of course, I need to remember that we have limited time here, so I shouldn't be goofing around too much. But
We got time for this.
yeah. Do you remember the words?
I can get it up real quick because they're out there. It's a well-known chant.
Let me
All right,
see.
so Om Bur Bhava Sava Tat Savitur Veneram.
Okay, so and oddly enough, I mean, like you literally can't make this stuff up.
It's right
The
there.
book flipped open. It
Oh my
flipped
God.
open.
Wow.
It flipped open. So
That's
this is in
beautiful.
English. There is a prayer known as the Gayatri that embodies the spirit of the rune of wholeness. So the rune of wholeness is Soalu. It looks like a what do you call that? Lightning. You who are the source of all power, whose rays illuminate the world, illuminate also my heart, so that it too can do your work.
Wow, that's a
That's
really good
amazing.
translation.
That's
I've seen a
amazing.
couple
I mean, I
translations.
swear you cannot make it up. It flipped open to the
This
page.
this needed to be said today.
You who are the source of all power, whose rays illuminate the world, illuminate also my heart, so that it too can do your work. And I love so many things about it, not the least of which is that you, that's God, that's the universe, that's
Mhm.
Buddha, that's
Your higher
it's
self.
whoever it is, whoever it is to you. So that is just incredible. I mean, like, don't you just love these synchronicities
I
that
do. I do.
come around
And
here?
you know, I know the Sanskrit not by heart, but I can sing along. So when I'm meditating or when I'm just listening to it, I can kind of sing along. And I've seen translations of it, but that translation that you just read is better than the ones I've seen. So that's really
Ah,
really helpful.
this is and this is actually a fascinating book. I got it with my runes, but it's the Book of Runes by Ralph Blum.
Okay.
I know it's gold, so it's hard to see.
Nope, I see it.
Um, and it's really a fascinating little book. I mean, he's got some backstory and some, other information, and then the description of the stone. So, but isn't that funny that it triggered that memory?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful prayer, and it would be a beautiful chant.
Yep.
Whether it were in English or in Sanskrit, it wouldn't matter. And then to have like an underlying piece, I'm thinking even Hertz music, like 529, maybe 529 hertz would be amazing, because the chanting it creates a vortex. It creates an energy vortex. So
Nice.
so I'm we're running out of time for this one. I want to do a really, really quick shameless plug, and then we'll finish up, because it kind of goes along with this. I am on Sunday, September 10th, and it's listed on my Facebook page, Angie ZXUH. This is the XUH method. I'm doing a meditation, an affirmation meditation, affirmation energy meditation, where everybody will be chanting an affirmation, and I will be lending energetic support, as I do, because that's what I do. And I look to create some real shifts of energy in that. I will be using. I won't be recording it, so I'll be using some piece of music to go along with it. But I'm not charging for it. So there's however many spaces there are in the Zoom room, that's how many people can show up. But you do need to sign up. So go over to the events tab on my Facebook page, and you'll find it there. Anyway, so in conclusion, what are you meditating with now?
I'm gonna say I usually turn on so I use SoundCloud. I pick Snatam Kaur's piece, and then it finds the next one and finds the next one. Invariably, I'm going to get to Om Mani Padme Hum and Gayatri Mantra at some point during that playlist.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So what do you, I mean, I know we said music and we have like a minute and a half left. What are you doing when you meditate? Like, me, I'm working when I meditate, right?
Okay.
Like,
for me personally, I am trying to reduce or eliminate the conscious thoughts. If a thought comes, I'll say, I'll basically, when I'm realizing, I'm thinking again, I let it go. And I just want to listen. I just want to listen. I just want to listen. And that act of not thinking is the relaxing and also the soul building exercise that meditation provides.
Interesting. I can check out in the middle of a grocery store, so I don't it's a mission for me, right, to remember to be able to meet people where they are.
Yep.
Because everybody is different. Anyway, okay, well, this is the end of the first of the pilot bits and pieces. I don't know what we're going to call this, but
we call it the trident.
there you go. The first piece of the trident. So every week we're going to do a 1 hour show, but we're going to chop it up into 3 pieces, 20 minutes a piece, and hopefully make it a little bit more digestible for you, the listener. Now, if you've made it this far, and man, do we really appreciate it when you do, please, if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. We'd love to get out of that sort of 100 under 100 range, and build that up a little bit.
Yep.
So, John, thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Yep.
And we will see you
on the flip side.
We'll see you for the second part 2. Excellent.
All right.